Welcome back to the Ripple Effect. Today I'm joined by Piper Knoll, one of Colorado's most trusted and respected real estate professionals. With over 2 decades of experience, she leads the Knoll team with a data-driven mindset, polished systems, and an unwavering commitment to her client success. She's passionate about helping clients navigate big decisions, mentoring agents, and creating impact that extends far beyond the closing table. Welcome, Piper. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I've been in real estate for over 2 decades. What did your business look like in year one versus today? And what do people misunderstand about building something sustainable?
Okay, so today, today's real estate me is very, very different than when I started in real estate. My first year in real estate, I worked for a company that had a subprime mortgage company that they worked with. So I was given leads. I got my real estate license in April and I closed 37 deals my first year. So it was learning very, very quickly and drinking from the fire hose for that. The one thing I will say is that I was not taught, nor did I understand at all, that real estate was a personal relationship business. I've not talked to any of those 37 people since I sold them their homes 21 years ago. So that's pretty embarrassing. I had no idea that that was part of the deal. I was just transactions. I was just ripping and getting them done, and it was just chaos. So how my business looks now is very, very different. Now I'm very intentional in my business. All of my clients I have amazing relationships with. We do the long game on real estate. So most of my clients are past clients. They've worked with me in the past or referred to me by other clients that I've helped. So it's a very, very intentional business now and a much more
Mhm.
enjoyable business.
I agree because it's more about the relationships and like working with people that I actually like, opposed to just getting through the transaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
37 is a lot for an agent. That's really impressive. First year
It
in.
was a lot. It was a lot. I was writing contracts in bars at midnight, and I had
Oh
no
yeah,
business doing any
no
of that stuff.
sleeping,
No
no
sleeping.
sleeping.
Yeah, it was very different. I mean, just 20 years ago, my average, sales price when I started was about 160,000. Now it's pushing 1 million. So it's definitely changed a lot over the 20 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive. I mean, but seriously, what do you think helped build your database like that? I mean, that's a huge number for year one. What do you think like built that? What do you think pushed that for? Because I think the average agent is 4 to 6, which is pretty standard across the
Yeah.
board. So how do you think you were pushing 37? That's impressive.
The only reason I did that much business was because my company that I worked for gave me the leads. So, they would get somebody approved and it was a mortgage company partner with a real estate company. So it was just an easy transition of, hey, now that you're approved, you're going to go work with one of our agents. So it was literally just lined up for me. I don't think
I
that model is a good model.
was just gonna
I don't,
ask.
yeah, I mean, I got really good at writing contracts and that's definitely like the cornerstone of my business and something that I'm very, very proud of. But that amount of volume, especially for a brand new agent, is not reasonable, not even close. I didn't know anything about real estate except for how to write the contract and how to do the basics.
Interesting. I always have people ask me in the lending world, like, does it make sense to go with a builder, for example, a builder who's going to essentially feed you leads, and I might take the pay hit, but I get so much business. I build a database from that, and I get so much exposure. And I never really quite know how to answer that because I think it's a maybe, maybe if that's right for you, but that's a
Yeah,
really interesting dynamic because you are slammed and you do not have a relationship with the client. You are just surviving. It's
yeah,
really tough.
absolute survival. And I mean, I was also a, young mom at this point. I had a daughter and I was pregnant with my second daughter when I got into real estate. So it was a really stressful time. I don't
Wow.
recommend anybody trying to do it that fast and furious from the beginning. I wish if I could, go back to the beginning, I wish I would have taken a couple years to really understand real estate and understand what I was actually providing to my clients. Because I will tell you, none of those clients would have ever used me again. They did not get a good real estate experience because I did not know enough of what I was doing, and
Mm.
that bothers me still to this day. And I look at,
Uh,
I look at practitioners right now that don't put as much care and effort into the education and really learning the contracts. And I think everybody deserves a great real estate experience. Those first 37 of my clients didn't get what they deserved. Like it
I think
was
that's
fine.
your integrity. It was fun and wild and crazy, but I
Yeah.
think that's your integrity, right?
Huh.
That's why it still bothers you, is
Yeah. It still
I
bothers
could
me.
have done
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
21 years later, it still
Yeah.
bothers you
It
because
still bothers.
you could have, should have done better, you know?
Yeah. But now that I
Yeah.
know better, I can do better. Right. So that's important
Hmm.
to me. I make sure that I put, all of my top notch professionalism and everything I do now. And it's a non negotiable to me. So
Hmm.
luckily I've had, this time to grow and change, honestly. And I think we've talked about this before. The first 10 years of my real estate business and the last 10 years are entirely different. The
Hmm.
first 10 years were trial by error. Yes, I was doing a lot of business, but I was not doing it well. I wasn't telling people I was in real estate. It was luck. It was all luck. And thank goodness I had some good luck those first couple of years because I wouldn't have stayed in it otherwise.
Interesting. That's really cool. At what point do you think that you started to realize that you weren't just building like a real estate career, but that you were really building a brand, and then that led to obviously team growth?
Yeah, probably about 12 years ago, 12 to 13 years ago, when I met Justin, my business partner and now husband. He's the one that really kind of showed me how to do real estate right and how to have great relationships with clients, how to really enjoy the process, and how to make this an easier experience for clients along the way. And like I said, I didn't know what I didn't know before, but now that I do, there's no way I would ever go back to how I sold real estate in the beginning. And it's, I look at a lot of people that get their real estate license now, and it is this, you're kind of thrown out in the wild. You get through real estate school, you don't learn how to actually sell real estate in real estate school. They don't
No.
teach you the things you need to know to survive. And I wish that there was, a program for agents to go through after they get their license to help them understand how to run a business, because real estate is a business. And most of us don't understand that piece of it.
Let's do it, Piper. I think we've just come up with a business plan because it's the same for lenders. You are absolutely thrown to the wolves. All we are taught is the RESPA violations, right? We are taught all the rules and regulations, all the everything that we need to keep our license, but you are taught nothing about how to build the business. You are taught nothing about how to treat people. Like there's nothing about real integrity. I mean, I know they go into ethics, but there's nothing about it's really interesting that we're just truly thrown to the wolves. We're not taught how to deal with realtors. We're not
Mhm.
taught how to deal with clients. It's wild. It's interesting that you guys go through it too, because it really is just a good luck you got your license.
It is, and it's wild to me because just having a real estate license does not make you qualify to sell real estate, in my opinion. So
Hmm.
it's just one of those things that has bothered me for a long time. I'm super committed to education, so I do tons of continuing education, and I feel like it's my responsibility to my clients to be as good at this as possible.
Hmm.
They're going to hire an agent, pay roughly the same regardless of who they hire. I want my clients to know that they're getting their money's worth.
Yeah. I always say master your craft, right? Don't
Yeah,
half-ass your job. Don't half-ass your career. It's not fulfilling for me to half-ass it, but also like you're gonna know I'm half-assing it. And if you don't know today, you're gonna find out and you're never gonna use me again. So
totally.
it's a true mastering your craft. I love that and respect that about you so much because
Oh,
I think
thanks.
it's one of the main things we bonded over immediately, right? Like instant bonding of, oh, we both take our jobs so seriously because we care about people so deeply.
Yeah.
And I don't take my job seriously. Like I don't do it just because I get paid well. I take
Yeah.
my job seriously because I actually give a damn about you and I give a damn about how I'm showing up every day.
Absolutely. To me, it's an honor when I get hired.
Uh-huh.
Whether a seller or a buyer hires me or my team to represent them, it's a gift and it's an opportunity that
Hmm.
we have that not everybody gets. And when we get hired by
Hmm.
somebody, we want to make sure that they get everything that they expected and probably
Yeah,
a little bit
and
more.
more. Exact and more.
Yeah,
I don't want to be I don't want to be mediocre. I don't want to just meet the bar. I want to exceed the bar for you. I want you to know that you got the best of the best service and you had the best of the best team advocating for you. I am going to give it my all. I will take care
absolutely.
of you, you know?
Same, same. I tell my clients like I'm a bit of a jerk, but I'm your jerk. So, that's good. So when it comes to negotiating and things you need, I'm always going to be on your side and fight hard for you. That's why you hire us. Like it's
Yeah.
not just showing houses, it's not just writing contracts, it's having somebody advocate truly for what you need and what should happen
Mhm.
in the transaction.
Yep, I love it. It's exactly that because how many people are just like showing up and just giving you the information that you asked for, not actually educating you on it, not actually, but just again, it's not mastering your craft. I have it to teach lenders. You need to be smarter than ChatGPT. A
Yep,
client should never trust ChatGPT more than they're trusting you. So you better know what the hell
absolutely.
you're doing and what you're talking about, And it's hard to
100%.
teach that.
It is. And kind of one of the rules that we have on the team, if you will, is that I want to make sure we're answering any questions our clients have before they even know to ask them. Like when I
Yes.
when I get through a transaction, they're like, man, that was way easier than I expected. Like, did we do something wrong? No, you knew it was
Nope.
coming, you expected what was happening, and you're prepared for the transaction. It should feel
Mhm.
easier. It
The
shouldn't be
correct.
this, yeah, it shouldn't be this like nightmare, where you have no idea what's
No.
coming on. Like we know what comes next in the transaction. We should tell our clients.
Correct. And I always tell people, I tell them I am going to document everything. I'm going to verify everything. So this is a smooth process for you. It should feel easy. It should never feel high stress. I'm sitting at a closing table. I don't know if I'm getting this deal. That's a lender doing their job poorly.
Mhm.
And probably an agent not communicating properly with their lender to push closing dates, right? But
Yeah,
it really is like, this is my job. My job is to honor you and advocate for you. My job is to protect your money in this transaction. And that's what I'm going to do. And
yep.
again, I'm never going to half-ass it. I'm always going to give you my absolute best. Mm,
Totally. I think it'd be like my worst nightmare if I had a client that was not happy with our service.
yeah.
Like I take it so very personally, and I put so much time and energy in the team into making sure we're crafting just an exceptional experience from start to finish for our clients. I take it really personally if someone does not love working with our team.
I do too. I do too. And it's
Yeah.
because I mean, obviously we lose on our end, we can lose people to interest rates at times, but so many times it's like so many times we end up keeping people because we're able just to prove to them that we're worth our value, but also that our interest rates are still insanely competitive and great, right? But
Mhm.
I do take it personally. I know that they're shopping interest rates and I want you to get the best deal. And I promise you, I'm going to give you the best deal that I have. And it is hard not to take it personally. I have a very high standard for how business is done and how clients are treated, how our realtors feel. We don't sway from it. You're not allowed to.
Yeah. Same.
And I'm not
Same.
sorry. This is the expectation. This is the standard, and I will never
Same.
apologize for it.
I will never apologize for caring about our clients more than the average person. To me, it's
Yep.
our reputation is everything we have in real estate. If
Hmm.
we give one bad experience to somebody, that could do so much damage, and it's just never worth it.
Hmm.
We try to be a little bit more strategic on making sure that we're partnering with people like our clients that really appreciate what we serve and what we do.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so, being really intentional about the clients that we work with and that we serve has been really key in that. And it's also made it a lot more fun to sell real estate too.
Yeah, I agree. The working with right people early on in my career, it was a lot of desperation
Mhm.
and a lot of I cannot believe you want to work with me and you're going to give me this loan. And now it's shifted a bit where I know my worth and I know my value and there's less desperation in it. So I only work with good people because we worked with a lot of mean people for a long time,
Yeah.
really nasty, mean people in this process. And I thought, Never again."
Yep, never again. As soon as a client is rude to one of my staff or my teammates, it's just not a fit. So we do a lot of
Hmm.
like when we talk to clients up front and really make sure that we're a good fit, we're making sure that they're a good fit for us, not just that we're a good fit for them. It's a
Correct.
mutual street because there's a lot of time and energy that goes into real estate, and you have to
Yep.
get along well with each other and trust each other. At the end of the day,
Yes.
if you don't trust your agent and your lender, you're not going to get into a house that you're excited about.
Correct. Like leave immediately. Go
Yeah.
work with someone that you are more excited about working with. And right, and that can be normal. It's unfortunate that it happens, but it can be normal. But you need to be with a team that advocates for you, that you know you can trust, that you can rely on, because that level of distrust is so unhealthy in the process. And it's miserable for us. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful place to have built a business up to a point where I no longer have to feel that desperation.
Yeah.
And I can say no to business. I can say, oh no, we're not, we're not a good fit. And
Yeah.
that's okay. I'm okay with it.
That's okay.
I want to protect your experience too.
Yeah, and I think that so many lenders and realtors are so focused on making sure that we get everything. And I'm very reluctant on new clients. I want to make sure, like, I don't like to work with people that just find me randomly. To work with our team, you have to be referred to us. You have to come to us from somebody that knows us.
Hmm.
That's really important to me. That tells me that you know somebody that has worked with us and had a great experience. You know what to expect, and you want to partner in this. So to us,
Hmm.
that's really important. We don't want to work with mean people, and we don't want to have a client unhappy with us, and
Yeah.
personalities matter, you know,
Yes,
and
it
it comes
does.
down to, yeah. And part of
Yeah.
the nice thing about having a team, and I'm sure go through this as well, having the team is nice. So if I'm not a really great fit personality wise for somebody, another member of my team can help them, which I think
Yeah.
works well. But I've also realized that my team is extremely aligned in how I feel about real estate. And they
Hmm.
also want to make sure that they're working with the right people. So it's been a
Hmm.
really fun thing as the whole team of us, 5 top producing agents at Weston, Maine, saying, yeah, that's not really for us.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I
Yeah.
love it.
It's
It
nice.
actually leads me into one of my next questions. So how has your confidence evolved over the years, and especially as the market and industry has changed, which I think you obviously have touched on, but I'd like to hear more.
Yeah. Until the last 10 years, I had no confidence at all in real estate. Like, I'm great at writing contracts. I'm great with people. All of those things are there. I'm a good salesperson. I don't feel like real estate is sales though. And so for a long time, I had to really change my mindset on there because I'm not trying to sell something. If I'm selling anything, I'm selling myself and my team and
Hmm.
what we bring to the table. That's more the sales role for me. But when I'm really working with people, I want to make sure that I can give them what they want. And you can only do that by spending the time up front to make sure that they're a good fit.
Hmm.
So that's been a
That's
really big
such a good
cornerstone.
point. I've never felt like this was sales because I've worked in sales jobs. I've always associated it with I just believe in it. Like, so my first home, I purchased $240,000, a four-bedroom house. Can you imagine? In Colorado, doesn't exist anymore. And I we sold it for we made $277,000 off of it 5 years later. Right now, obviously the market was up when we sold it. It was a good time. But that process made me believe in it even more, right? Buying the house and owning my own house and getting out of renting and paying myself back. And now I'm paying my own mortgage. I'm not paying my landlord's mortgage. But now I just made so much money. I would have never saved that much money in 5 years. And I wasn't even making enough money to have saved that much money in 5 years. So to have had that happen, it never felt like sales because I believed in it so deeply that I just truly believe it's a good fit for most people. And I've talked people out of buying. I'm like, oh, it's not right for you. And
Absolutely.
truly because they like, well, I'm thinking about traveling the world in 6 months. Well, maybe you shouldn't. And I don't want to be a landlord. Oh, don't buy.
Yeah.
Maybe don't buy because you're not going to purchase and then sell in 6 months and put yourself in a good financial position. You're going to end up losing money. Don't do that.
Agreed. And I also, I mean, to your point, I don't think everybody should own a home. Um,
I
I want people to be able to, but owning a home is a lot. There's a lot of responsibility that comes along with it, and it's expensive. And one thing that does bother me is that there are some agents and lenders that will put people into homes when they're doing very minimum down payments and they don't have the cash set aside for emergencies. To me, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for people that are going to
Mhm.
be long-term wealth partners for us that we can help grow that wealth because you're right. There's no way that you can save that much money over the course of 5 years.
Mhm.
Building wealth through, real estate is how you're going to do that, but you have to
Mhm.
have some money in the game. People that are going in
Mhm.
with zero money down right now, it's taking much longer with, the values of houses right now. They're relatively level. They're not appreciating super crazy right now. If you're not bringing money to the table, it may not be the right time to buy. And
Yeah.
and I know that's probably not the most popular thing for everybody, but I'm the agent that doesn't ever want to put somebody in something they can't truly afford.
That's the issue, right? Is if you are just pushing somebody into something just to get the deal or the lack of education in it. I think sometimes even the lack of education when it comes to uh, are we financially preparing somebody correctly? And again, we're not taught that, right? We're just not taught. We're just the numbers work, so this is what we're doing. And it really is a tough position when you've got somebody who's in a bad spot because they're not saving and their water heater went out or whatever happened. It is expensive. It's a huge commitment and it's a such a beautiful asset to have, but it is something that you do have to be careful with.
Yeah, I think people just need to spend a little bit more time. I work with a lot of first-time home buyers, and a lot of the education on there is, hey, what does the next 2 to 3 to 6 years look like? How are you really going to live in this house? What do you have plans coming up in the next couple of years? I don't want to
Hmm.
sell a one-bedroom condo to a family or to a couple that just got married and is planning on having a couple kids in the next few years.
Hmm.
That doesn't make
Hmm.
sense. That's not a great place to start building your wealth. So I
No.
think that really slowing down and thinking a lot more about the future of your home ownership is really important. And a lot of people are just looking very right now, like, I want to own a house. This is what I should do. This is the American dream, which all of those things are true,
Yeah.
but they need to be at the right time for you.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. It's like again, it goes back to your integrity. That's
Yeah.
huge.
And you'd asked
Uh
me about my confidence, and I
yeah.
didn't really answer that fully.
Yeah.
So the 20 year ago Piper didn't have very much confidence. And now I have a lot. But I also have a proven track record that I can, confidently look at and show.
Mhm.
And that makes a big difference. Knowing that you do a great job in real estate brings that confidence. Sometimes I can be a little bit cocky almost, but I am really confident in how I present real estate and how I work with my clients. I know that I have great solutions for most people to get to where they want to be, and I am very confident with that. And I think the agent should be. You should talk about what you're really going to do to help people have success in this and make it easy for them. You know,
Mhm.
it's It's not just, hey, let's go buy a house. There's so much that goes into this. And when you're giving people the education and being a partner with them, that confidence really comes along with that. And like I
Hmm.
said, I didn't have that my first part of my career. Really, the past 12 years or so, when I got involved in leadership, I really started becoming a top producer. That's when the confidence came, but it came by reps. I do
Yeah.
tons and tons of work on this. I work and coach other agents. And I also stand in my bathroom and go through my listing presentation every day. I
Hmm.
practice it every single day. My poor cats, they're experts on real estate at this point, because to me, it's something that we have to do every day. It changes constantly, and I have to be very, very knowledgeable and at the front line on it.
Hmm. Again, mastering that craft, right?
Yeah, mastery.
Yeah. Oh, it's so true. I always tell people like the confidence comes later. I didn't start this confident. It came later. I mean, it was like even after the first year where I was still feeling some insecurities, the looking back on my first year going, oh, I actually made it a year. But that first year was spent crying and questioning myself and you wanting to get out of it. And then the second year was, okay, I think I kind of know what I'm doing. And it was putting the reps in, the consistency because confidence came later. I mean, even still, there's moments where I guess I really don't deal with insecurities in the business anymore. I deal with insecurities more in the speaking business. That's
Mhm,
an interesting change too, because that's new for
mhm.
me, right? It's like I'm 2 years in. And I tell you what, every once in a while I wake up early in the morning, 4 a.m., and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Well, I am good at mortgages. Who is letting me get on stages and speak? I should just stick to mortgages. And
Oh
then other
no.
times I go, this is what I want to do. I love pouring into people. I love teaching them that they're worth it. I love teaching them about business strategy. And that's what I'm being called to do right now. So I'll keep doing it if people will keep hiring
Yeah.
me.
You do belong on stage. I don't think I belong on stage, but you do.
Oh, I don't feel that way. I love hearing your story. I think your story is so powerful because it's another example of I can replicate this. Of Piper was not given an opportunity that I wasn't given. Like what you had in you, what people saw in you, right? The people who were hiring you or maybe giving you deals or whatever it might have been, still came from you. It still came from what existed within you. And even if you didn't see it, someone else did. And that is, I think, just so powerful because people don't always realize that they have it within themselves. They assume we were given a different opportunity. Well, yeah, did I have different opportunities? I just might have been hired by somebody different because they saw something in me that already existed that they were able to build and grow, right? That's all that it was. It wasn't something that it really isn't. We both come from similar backgrounds, and I was not given, I wasn't more worthy. I wasn't given more of an opportunity. Nothing was handed to me. I had to work my ass off for it, and I just kept going, you
Yeah.
know?
I just don't
And
take no for an answer.
I know,
Like,
I don't either. I'm
yeah.
like, "Oop, no
Nope.
means no, sounds like that sounded like a maybe.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm asking in tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's so funny. That helps me in my business too. I'll tell you, I get a good amount of deals because people will tell them no, and I just know my guidelines. And I go, oh, actually, we can do this. In my first few years, people used to think I was a portfolio lender because I could do all the deals that no one else could do. I was like, oh, these are conventional loans. I just know my guidelines. I know asset-based income. I understand all the ins and outs of what I'm doing. I don't think just inside the box. So it was kind of that mentality if I don't take no for an answer, it's not forcing, right? I'm not forcing the triangle into the square. I just know the entire square like the back of my
Yeah.
hand.
Yep. Yeah. If you know the
Uh-huh.
rules, it's easy to figure out how to work around them, and it's easy to
Yes.
figure out how to um, guide people in the right direction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But again, mastering my craft, I took that very seriously. I am not going to half-ass this. I'm dealing with people's mortgages. This is a huge purchase. And I
Huge
find joy
purchase.
in showing up again with my all. Like I can go to bed knowing I gave it my all and I did my best. And I have a clear conscience that way. I know that
Yeah,
I did everything I could.
absolutely. And that's the best
Hmm.
feeling. Like, so
Yes.
I will tell you, I don't wake up in the middle of the night like I used to. I
Yes.
sleep good at this point. And, in my first 10 years in real estate, I would wake up in the middle of the night in a panic. Oh my gosh, that deadline, or did I miss this, or what's going on with that? Because when you're not organized and you're doing a lot of business, it gets a little bit hectic. And so,
Hmm.
having great systems and processes, which is something that I pride myself on, it makes everything so much easier. When A happens, B
Hmm.
happens. You don't have to have the guesswork. So I sleep great now. Like just knowing that
Yes.
we're doing a great job all the time.
Same, same. I know that
Yeah.
we're giving it our all always, and that's so funny because that's definitely shifted for me over the last 5 years. Has been, oh no, I know that we're giving it our all. Like again, the first 10 years was like that. Sleepless nights. I mean, that also came from leadership too. I was in a
Yep.
weird leadership position and I didn't have, in some ways they were phenomenal and in other ways they were not so wonderful. And some of that came from just a toxic work environment, but in other ways it was, I was still learning how to do all the things. And the last 5 to 8 years has been really, oh, I know what I'm doing and now I sleep better.
Yeah, right. And just knowing that you do
Uh-huh.
a good job and provide a great service to your clients, it just feels good.
Yeah.
I tell the team and, when I'm talking to training and stuff, I tell them, and this is something that's true. I pretend like my clients are standing behind me during every conversation I have, whether it's with another agent, whether it's with another client. I
Yep.
never want to do or say something that one of my clients would hear and not be okay with.
Love it.
And making sure that I bring that to business every day and that the whole team operates that way has been really, really huge because it allows you to operate at a really high level of integrity. You can work through things, you can problem solve through things, but you're not sitting there ever saying anything that would ruin a client's opinion of you or anything like
I
that.
love
And to
that.
me, that's huge.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a really good way to look at it too. I mean, and just to be able to really consider in the event that so and so was going to hear this, how would this be perceived? So
Mhm.
I'm always acting at the highest level of integrity. It just
Yep.
really puts that into perspective. That's really cool.
Yeah. Same thing with text messages. If I'm interacting with another agent, I'm going to make sure that I'm staying super professional because I want to be able to show my client that interaction and not have any
Yeah,
kind of negativity from it.
correct.
That stuff
Yeah.
really matters. It really matters. And
Yep.
so to me, it's just a non-negotiable of business. You have to
Yeah.
be super ethical. And that's, ethics are how you act when people aren't watching. That's what it comes down
Yes.
to. Is this
Yes.
who you truly are? Yes, for me and my team, it is. We care so much about the experience.
Yes, yep, that when you're not looking, like I know who I am behind closed doors,
Yep.
and always gonna, yeah, I love that. That's so cool,
Yeah.
Piper. I
Thanks.
love that. So after being in the business for over 20 years, 21 years here soon, how would you say that you continue to stay hungry without burning out? Because I'm sure you've experienced burnout, which is insane and so hard to recover from. But how would you say that you maintain it now? Because you have such a high drive, you're such a high performer, and what do you do to protect that burnout?
So a couple things that are really, really important to me. I am really structured. So I wake up early in the morning. I have a morning routine that I follow. And so I take care of myself first. So I make sure that, by the time I get to my office and I'm ready to work, my clients are getting the best of me because I'm having a good relationship and good day with myself. To me,
Mm-hmm.
that really matters. When it comes to working with people and setting great expectations, I think that I tend to get less burnout at this point with things because our clients are so excited and they understand the process so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a huge thing. By doing the way that we work and doing all of our processes, which I know some of, we don't get as burnout because we're working with people that bring us joy and we're working with people that we want to work with. And that is not just our clients, that's the team as well. So what I like to do as well to avoid burnout is I like to constantly change things. I am like that weird psychotic realtor that loves to change things and loves to add things and is always looking for like the next thing that I can do to elevate our business. So for me, I have a lot of fun with that, whether it's like our gifts or whether, it's the emails that we send. I'm constantly refining and tweaking those. And that tends to keep me away from burnout. And then my
Mm-hmm.
last thing that I love to do to stay away from burnout is pouring into other people. It's hard to
Mm-hmm.
get burnout if you're elevating other people. So the burnout to me, I think, comes when you're working with really tough clients, you're having really tough transactions, and I still have those. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a couple right now that are a little rough, but we're gonna maybe get through them and it'll be okay. But like the burnout comes, I think, when you're not organized, when you're
Mm-hmm.
trying too hard to make things come together. You can't
Mm-hmm.
force real estate. I'm never going to talk you into a house. I will probably talk you out of one before I talk you into it. So those are the things for me that really help with burnout. Working with the right people, being systemized, having a same consistent process. You don't get burnout on checklists. You get burnout from the how do I figure this out? Like, what do I need to do to prospect? If you do the same things all the time, you're going to have good success and results if you stick to it. I think where
Mm-hmm.
people get burnout is when they're trying to do too many things. They try something for a couple months, it doesn't work. They try something else for a couple months, it doesn't work. Guess
Mm-hmm.
what? They do things for way longer than a couple months in real estate for them to work. So that's
Mm-hmm.
I think where a lot of people have the burnout. I don't have it as much at this point.
Mm. I love what you said, the taking care of you in the morning. So that's something I learned with the burnout, and I actually speak on often now If I'm not okay, the family's not okay. If I'm not okay, the business isn't okay. So taking care of me is a part of the business plan. Taking care of me is a must. It's a requirement because if not, everything else falls apart.
Yep.
Right. And I could not agree more. And then giving myself those gentle moments of I might only have 20% to give today. I'm going to give 100% of my 20%, and I'm going to be okay with the fact that the other 80% does not exist today. I'll
Yep.
reset tomorrow. I need some downtime today, or
Yep.
I'm not ever going to be hard on myself because right now the kids need me. And I've got a client who just called me. Well, I need to prioritize because if I drop the ball with the kids, I am going to regret that. I'm going to burn out and I'm going to feel guilt and shame in that. And if I lose a client over showing up for my kids, it's not the right client for me anyhow. It's like,
Absolutely.
it's really learning those boundaries and taking care of yourself. I think it's vital.
Absolutely. And, to some extent, what we're talking about is not reality for a lot of agents and lenders because you and I are both in the place in our careers where we've been doing this long enough and, we have established businesses and that the business happens. I don't have to prospect every single day to get somebody to buy a house from me. And I also don't
Hmm.
need to close that deal to pay my mortgage. And I
Hmm.
think that's extremely powerful because
Hmm.
when you're chasing that all the time and you're always looking for that next got to put the kids through college, you got to pay your mortgage, you got to, buy that new car. All of those things I think lead to the burnout. And for me, when I finally set this up as, hey, I'm a servant to my clients. I'm here to be their advocate and their mentor to this. This is not about me selling a house. It's
Hmm.
about me getting them into their goals and their dreams. That's where it changed because all of a sudden I'm not working on my agenda anymore. I'm working on theirs. And that makes it really
Hmm.
different for me too.
Yeah, that's so true. I love that. Yeah, it is absolutely true. And I do agree that we are in a different position in life where we have that advantage, right? We've grown our business. I don't have to prospect every day. I could take a week off and still be fine. My business is still going to flow well for me.
Yep.
And so that's a really good point. And I was talking to a top producer in Michigan last week, and we were having a similar conversation. And it was, the question I asked was, do you think that we have to go through the burnout to appreciate never going through it again? And do you think that the steps that it took to get there is it a part of the process, or are there ways to teach it, right? Because I am so much more grateful now for, oh, I love that cat.
That's
What's that cat's
little
name?
Snoop Dog, little Snoop.
Snoop Dogg. I wonder if the burnout is kind of a part of it. It's kind of a part of the process. I appreciate my downtime and I appreciate my time with my kids so much more than I did when I was just so desperate to get the deal in and I was rushing them out the door and rushing them to bed and doing all the things and not really sitting down and appreciating the time I had with them. And now I do. Is it a natural growing pain?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's really like a very common thing in business. And I do think that if you have never been burnout and you've never worked at an extremely high level and just been burning the candle at both ends, you don't appreciate the downtime and the time that you do have that is built by the business. I think that you do have to have
Mhm.
that. It's a byproduct of it, but I don't think it needs to be what controls you. And I think a lot of people
Mhm.
are always trying to avoid burnout and working hard to avoid it in the wrong ways.
Mhm.
You know, burnout is not
Mhm.
just taking, an afternoon off and going to do something. Burnout is being intentional.
Mhm.
So for me and like you, having a team, if I need a mental health day or if I just have something where I'm like, I gotta tap out, it's really, really great to know that my clients are taken care of regardless. And
Correct.
if I do
Yeah.
go on vacation, the team takes care of it. And so that gives a lot of power too, where, everybody can now take a day. I also don't think that realtors should do all of the job that realtors have to do. We shouldn't have to be marketing experts. We shouldn't also be social media. Like my job is to find clients that want to work with me and then be available when they need me. That's what
Mhm.
my job is. And
Mhm.
when I finally figured that out and started hiring staff to support the marketing pieces, the social media, all those other things that keep the business flowing, that's where I truly found joy in the business.
Mhm.
Because I'm not great at social media. I'm not a big fan of it at all. I'm on there because I have to be and I try
Mhm.
to embrace it, but it's not my thing. I don't love it.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
don't want to be good at it, right? I
yeah,
don't want to
I
be
want to
good
be
at
good
it
at selling
either.
homes. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
I
what I
want to
want
be
to be
good at
good
what
at.
I'm good at, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it is a 44-year-old, agent that's been doing this for a long time. I don't want to have to relearn all these things. I want to use
Mhm.
the skills that I'm already great at to continue working, and
Exactly.
yeah, and so I think that that's been a huge thing too, knowing that I have other people and that I've given some of that up and I trust the people explicitly on my team. It lets me have a life back again. And I think that's really
Mhm.
important too.
Yeah, learning how to delegate, not control it all is so important too. I think that's a part of the burnout. I think
Mhm.
you made the comment about avoiding the burnout. I think that stems from fear of burnout the second time, because
Yeah,
I definitely was avoiding burnout in all the wrong ways, which was creating a different kind of burnout.
absolutely.
And that was a weird epiphany as well. And then and again, I don't think people realize how hard is it to recover from burnout, and then the fear of burning out again, and then where we avoid things. I was avoiding certain growth because I thought, oh, I don't want to burn out again. I don't want to burn out again. I don't want to burn out again. And so I was just stuck in this fear cycle of, oh, I'll go get the massage. I wasn't taking days off. I wasn't actually intentionally taking care of myself. I was just doing what everyone else told me I should do to
Mhm.
relax. But I still wasn't finding any fulfillment in it. And a lot of that was coming from fear of burning out again. But then the learning process of, no, 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 I need to just do what I really love and I enjoy. And I need to make sure that I take care of me first. And that way I can take care of the family and I can take care of the business and all is good. And I'm always doing what I want to be doing. And I'm always doing high income producing activities instead of the stuff I don't like doing, delegating, not being so controlling that I think I'm the only one who can do it. Being
Mhm.
being able to learn how to trust your team too is an interesting
Yeah.
journey as well.
Yeah. Well, like this is not a big secret. People that know me are going to know this. I have terrible handwriting. Terrible handwriting.
Same.
It, you know, I, what do you
Don't
do?
care. I'm not going to
Yeah.
apologize for it. It is
It
what it
is
is.
it is what it is. And so I would avoid sending out birthday cards and anniversary cards and things to my clients because my handwriting is literally trash. The first thing that I hired somebody to do for me is write my cards. Clients appreciate it because they can read it, And
Yes.
like there was a lot when I was doing this, a lot of cross out, oops, sorry. And like then I'd read like, what the hell does this even say? Throw away. So that
This
was like
woman
one of
helped
the
me buy a
things.
$2 million house. This is crazy.
Yeah, she can't write. It's fine. Yeah. It's just not my strength. I type things. I'm on my
Yep.
computer. So when I
Yep.
have to do handwritten stuff, which I know that there's a lot of value in, I'm just going to have somebody do it a little bit nicer than me.
It's
And then
my
I'm not
words.
stressed.
It's my words, her
Exactly.
handwriting. Because your handwriting's
Exactly.
pretty. Mine is not pretty. Mine is like barely, you can barely read it these days.
It
It's
can be a
barely
doctor.
legible.
Sometimes I can't read my own handwriting. Like when I'm journaling,
Yeah,
I'm like, oh God,
I know.
what,
Like,
what
what was
is
I trying
this?
to say there? What's something that you prioritize today, personally or professionally, that younger Piper might have overlooked? And I know you kind of touched on this, but I want to know if there's anything different that you feel like maybe you wish you would have implemented sooner that younger Piper just really did not think was important that you've realized is really important now.
Yeah, this is kind of embarrassing to say. Like it's very, it's very honest. Prioritizing my family and friends. Um,
Mm,
for for most of my career, I've prioritized my business
uh-huh.
and my family, myself, my friends. Thank you to my friends that are still friends with me. Thank you. I know I'm terrible at a lot of things. I didn't prioritize any of that, and it was all about business all the time. And I woke up thinking about real estate immediately, going to bed thinking
Mm-hmm.
about real estate. And when I finally realized that I was not being any part of who I wanted to be as an actual human and showing up in my life the way I wanted to, I had to change all of that. So now my
Mm-hmm.
priorities are me, my family, and my business in that order.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that so much because that is so true. I I had this realization that I had got into this and now I'm a hostage to this monster I've created, right? And I've like now I'm a hostage. I can't see anybody and I can't do the things with the kids because my shitty boss said don't do it. I was the shitty boss. And I thought I did not I felt happier when I was poor. And that was not acceptable because what was I chasing? I wasn't doing it for this top producer. I wasn't doing it for the hitting this many deals in a year or this specific number. I started the business so I could feed my kids
Mhm.
and keep the lights on at the exact same time. That's why I started it. So then, like, losing myself in this mentality of I can't be anything for anybody else, it's just the business. It was really hard for me to, and I'm grateful I realized it when I did because I still have such a great relationship with the kids and at least I still have so much time with them.
Mhm.
But I thought, how many years and how many moments did I waste? Because all I was thinking about was real estate, well, mortgages, 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 right?
Mhm.
And what can I do for the next client? When's the next deal? And I couldn't even sit in the beauty of the life that I had created. And I agree, right?
Yeah.
Family members were put on the back burner, friends were put on the back burner. I was at the bottom of the totem pole,
Mhm.
right? It was business, family, friends, Alexa.
Yep. Yep.
Uh-huh.
That's about what mine looked like before. Yeah. Yeah, and to me, that's been huge. I mean, knowing that it's okay to take care of yourself first. I don't think women get that permission a lot. And I don't think we hear
Mm-mm.
it enough at a young enough age. When I was, young in business, I was young when I got into real estate. I was 24 years old. And, I had a family and I had to make it work. Like failure was just not an option. And
Mhm.
so I would do anything to make it work. And it was at my own detriment most of the time. I missed my kids' birthdays. I didn't go on trips. There was a lot of things I didn't do because I had to do real estate. And at
Yep.
this point in my career, there's not a chance I would do that. If I have a client
Yeah.
that doesn't understand that I have a family, if I have a client that doesn't understand that I have other things going on, they're just not my people. And that's okay.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Being able to say, no, I'm sorry, I'm not the best fit for you because, whatever reason is really, really powerful.
Yeah. I'm making more money and I'm happier now with my boundaries.
Yep.
And that was a hard thing to realize, right? Because when I knew I needed to start implementing boundaries, the fear was I was going to lose money. And temporarily, I did due to some different shifts, right? Then I started finding the right people. Then I started finding the right clients. And it was a huge change I'm forever grateful for that realization. And in some ways, I wish I would have learned it sooner. But again, going back to I appreciate everything now, though,
Yeah.
right? Is because I went through it. Now I appreciate things a little differently, and so I think it's
Yeah.
just a part of the deal.
And kind of to your point there, I think that it was not just you finding the right clients, but when you got yourself in order, the right clients found you. That's very much how I
Yeah,
feel about this,
yeah,
because I was attracting what I was putting out there, which was frantic nonsense.
yeah,
That's not good. But now being like a very peaceful and very centered and very confident realtor, I attract people that want to work with somebody like me, that want to
yeah.
guide through it, that's not going to be an alarmist on things. And so I think that, to you, you did that too. It's not you made that change in your life.
Right, my energy shifted, and then it
Yeah.
shifted the attraction to people. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to learn. That's a hard
Mhm.
thing to It's a hard thing to teach people too.
Yeah.
And anyhow, if you could sit across from the version of you who is just getting started, what will you tell her to trust sooner?
Oh my gosh. I would tell her that she needs to take a couple deep breaths, and it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And you have to take the time to learn how to do this right. Uh, it is the deepest regret is that I did it wrong for so many years.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I hate that. Like it's I hate to say that I'm embarrassed of that part of my business, but I am to some extent because I
Yeah.
know, like knowing now what I know and the level that I put in and everything, I just wish somebody would have told me. And this is when I'm coaching other agents and I'm working with them. If you're going to ask me to pay you 2.5 to 3.5%, you better know what you're doing and you better
Hmm.
understand that contract and you better be able to write that contract ironclad for them. You know,
Yep.
and to me, that's a skill that I have now. It's not something I had before because nobody taught me how important any of that stuff was.
Yeah. Yeah. That is really, that is really tough. Again, it goes back to that we're just not taught this stuff.
Mhm.
And there's, again, I can't stop saying it. It just goes back to the integrity. The fact that you still hang on to that that's like heavy, right? Because there is regret, and I didn't do the right thing by this person because I didn't know better. I didn't know how to. I wasn't taught. And then when you learn it, I can't unsee it. I
Yeah.
cannot unsee the fact that I didn't do the best that I could have for this person. So, where can people connect with you and learn more about you and your work?
Social media. I actually am on social media now, finally. So I do have Instagram and Facebook, and I do actually check them. I don't do all of the stuff on them, but I do check them, engage with people. So that's kind of one spot. Also, call, text, or email me. I do answer my phone. If you call my cell phone, you will get me, not anybody else. So I'm pretty easy to find.
I love it. That's awesome. We'll share your contact information too when we share the video. So, thank you so much for joining us at the Ripple Effect. I can't wait to see you next time.